Hello, greetings from Singapore. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I have to pinch myself that this is my life. Wow. So I tried to film this video yesterday. I think today is Saturday, I'm pretty sure. And I tried to film this yesterday on Friday, but I got interrupted by the cleaning service. And she was delightful, but she took forever. And then just as I was starting again, Brent came back and I got interrupted again. I was just so flustered. So I decided that I would try again the next day. So here we are. I made Brent put the do not disturb light on as he left. So we should be good. I finished Codebreaker, Jennifer Doudna, Gene Editing and the Future of the Human Race by Walter Isaacson yesterday. So this was my 10th book for January. So I'm very pleased to be starting out 2025 in double digits for the first month of the year. I feel like the old booktube Doris is back, the voracious reader. Maybe I can keep up the pace this year. We'll see, we'll see. So this was great. A very fast-paced read for a science tome. The chapters are short, and Walter Isaacson, so this is all about CRISPR, which is a gene editing tool discovered by a guy named Francisco Mojica, who is from Alicante, Spain. If you followed my channel recently, the last year or so, I've been to Alicante, Spain twice. We love it there. We're considering seriously retiring there, at least, you know, for a few years. And so, yeah, he discovered CRISPR. Well, he didn't discover CRISPR. Well, he sort of did. He discovered this RNA situation. I won't go into details, but it turned into CRISPR, and Jennifer Doudna was one of the forerunners in this scientific mystery, investigation, discovery, all the above. So he's written a very fascinating novel, and she is at the center of his narrative, but it is about all of the people involved. I just love, these are the main people. I just love these just photos, and so many of them women. And this woman, Emmanuelle Charpentier, along with Jennifer Doudna, won the Nobel Prize recently, like in the 20s. So I love the women in chemistry vibe in this book. It's very easy to read. Like, his narrative is just immersive. However, it is very science heavy with genes and RNA and DNA. So if that's not your vibe, you know, that's what this book is about. So CRISPR, the gene editing tool, is basically Francisco Mojica discovered that bacteria have a defense mechanism where they can like cut and splice pieces of viral RNA into their system so that they can recognize it next time. And so we've learned to use this as a vehicle for gene editing in multiple areas, including working during the COVID epidemic. So loved it, enjoyed it, highly recommend. Also, unexpectedly, this gave me some more information on COVID that I was curious about. So I read David Quammen. He's one of my favorite science writers. And coincidentally, we're reading Spillover this month in February for the Naturalist Book Club, which is all about zoonotic diseases. So diseases that jump from other animals into the human body. and COVID is one of those. So, Breathless by David Quammen focused on COVID. I was very excited about that, and I enjoyed the book. However, his book really focused just on trying to discover where COVID originated. And I wanted more of the race to solve the mystery of the disease, which is, I love reading that in science books. So this one actually was part of that, talking about the mechanisms of the vaccines, which was fascinating. So I really liked getting that aspect of the COVID story. And now I just need to find one that focuses on how COVID itself attacks the body. I'm really interested in that as well. So I'll find it eventually. I will find that book. Anyway, I also finished The Night Ship by Jess Kidd. So I was buddy reading this with Britta Bowler and Kim from Middle of the Book March, and we all really enjoyed reading this. So it's a dual timeline, 1628, I think, and 1989. So the 1628 narrative is a famous shipwreck. I think it was called the Batavia. And so you're focusing on this little girl, Malin, I think her name, Malin. And then in the 1989 timeline, you're focusing on a little boy, Gil, and he is on the same island where the shipwreck was stranded. So in 1628, this ship wrecked, and they managed to get the people onto this island, but it was kind of an uninhabitable island, meaning that there wasn't enough food or fresh water to support the people. There weren't any really fresh water sources there other than rainwater. So it was a crippling, tragic situation. Some of the people left on the smaller vessels to go get rescue and didn't return in time, and it's just a tragedy. So Jess Kidd has woven a fictional account centered around this little girl who's lost her mother. Her mother died in childbirth, and she's being sent to live with her father. And then the modern narrative, 1989, the little boy has also lost his mother due to, I think, probably drugs, and he's being sent to live with his grandfather. And so it was really cool. So Jess Kidd, her books are known for having magical realism in them. However, her magical realism is a little bit different than most, because instead of relying on the magical part of it, she really just writes ghosts as actual characters in the story. So they're just as real to you as the people are. They're just ghosts. This one was a little different in that she relied more, instead of the ghost as character narrative, she relied more on the imagination of these children and, this fictional monstrous eel creature that they were you could tell that they were imagining it. But the thing that struck me so much about the story, so I feel like, you can read a story and just get immersed in the characters. And this book had just characters you really sank into. And I feel like you can read a book and really have the plot pull you along. And I feel like this book did that too. Because I read it in 2 days, just couldn't stop. And I feel like you can read a book because the themes in the story really get your mind whirring, and you just keep thinking about them. And this book definitely did that for me. So I think one of the criticisms about the book is that it's essentially two novellas mushed together, because there's so many parallels to see between the two narratives, but there's not much actual connection between the two stories as you go along. And I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. So that is something that, might bother people. But I just keep thinking about the parallels between the stories. Oh, I just really do. For example, just one of them is gender roles. So in the 1628 narrative, the little girl, she's from a well-to-do family, but she's on this ship for 7 months. And so she wants to explore the world below. And to do that, she has to dress as a little boy to escape notice. And then in the 1989 narrative, this little boy has been raised by a single mom, and she keeps talking about him as he's a little different. But he really enjoys fashion and fabrics and textiles, and he enjoys playing dress up. And so the mom, was okay with that, or he thought she was. But then, when he has to go live with his grandfather, he knows that it's not exactly societally acceptable. But he likes to play dress up with his dead grandmother's clothing and gets caught. So it's just very, very interesting. And again, I don't want to spoil the story if anybody wants to read it, but I just keep thinking about so many parallels in the story and the things that Jess Kidd is able to say with stories, and I think that's important in society is because, stories are just better vehicles sometimes for explaining, your thoughts about how society works and the way we think. Because sometimes telling people straight out doesn't go very well. You know what I mean? Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I love Jess Kidd. That's my 4th by her, and I think I've read all of her major works now, and I didn't really know if she had minor works, but apparently she does, because I just checked, and she has got a children's story called Everyday Magic. So I think I'm going to try to find that and read it for middle grade March. And she has another book coming out in April, Murder at Gull's Nest, which is a mystery. Oh, new genre maybe. So yeah, I love Jess Kidd. And I think she's like one of my favorite authors now because I've read all of her books except for, the minor one. And I think that's the signature of a great author is like you want to read all their works. Like Amy Tan, I've read all of Amy Tan's books. I think she does some magical realism with ghosts too. Maybe that's something I like is the ghost vibe. Anyway, love Jess Kidd. So what else do we need to talk about? Oh, currently reading. So I finished Assassin's Quest, as I mentioned last week, and started the next trilogy, which is what's this, ship traders or something? I don't know. But Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. And why don't I love Robin Hobb the way people love Robin Hobb? Ugh. So I really, really loved Assassin's Quest, which tends to be one of the least liked of the Robin Hobbs, you know, in the great world. So I was kind of a little disappointed that this one, Ship of Magic, is not the same people, because, you know, I wanted to I'd finally gotten immersed in you know, those people, and now they're not here in this story. Also, the beginning of Ship of Magic, I'm listening to it on audio, and they throw a lot of characters and scenes. Robin Hobb, throws a lot of characters and scenes at you, boom, 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 and you don't exactly know when she's shifted perspective. So that was a little bit hard to follow. I'm starting to get into it now that I've been in it for a few hours. But also, the beginning of the book's pretty much a downer. So it's hard to start with all the negativity. So I think that I'm really gonna like the main character, Althea, and the guy. I can already see there's a guy. I don't remember his name. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy that narrative once we get into the adventure quest part of it. But now we're in the drama zone with her dad's dying and her brother-in-law's the captain of the ship, and he's fairly incompetent, but you know, he's the man and he's gonna get it. And there's a pirate that's probably gonna steal the ship. I can, you know, already see that coming. So in the end, I'm gonna enjoy it, but we're in the setup of all the bad stuff now, which, you know, that's a downer, but we'll get there. I also wanted to say, I wrote down the audiobook narrators this time because I'm not really loving the one for this trilogy, which is Anne Flosnick. But the first trilogy, the Assassin's Quest trilogy, Paul Bowman, was fabulous. So I wish that he was still narrating, but alas and alack, he is not. Anyway, I brought books with me to Singapore. I just kind of grabbed books that I didn't think I would need to keep and might not necessarily want to donate it to my school library. You know, kind of pool books maybe. So I have Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan. I adored Crazy Rich Asians. I love that trilogy. I love the movie. So good, so fun. And when I read those books and watched it, did I ever think that I would be in Singapore one day? No. So how cool is this? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this one's set in Hawaii, not Singapore, but I think it'll be fun to read by the pool today. So I'm gonna get started on this soon, like as soon as I finish this video. And I also brought 50 Words for Rain by Asha Lemme. I think Patrice gave me this. Patrice from 2 Minutes on Books. And then I have Greenwood by Michael Christie. This one I think I got in Hong Kong, and this one I bought in Kuala Lumpur recently, and you better believe I'm gonna buy me some books while we're in Singapore, maybe tomorrow. So I will definitely have a book haul in the very near future. I think I did want to mention World of Wonders by Amy Nezuko Matado. This is a reread for me. 2025 with Book Naturalist is our 5th year anniversary. So we're doing all of our favorites as rereads this year. So it's a well curated list. You're gonna want to get in on it. But this one, I actually have not started my reread because if you're not familiar with Singapore, there are so many botanic gardens here. So we're gonna go to at least 3 of those while we're here. So I thought that it would be really cool to do a World of Wonders, which is, you know, focused on the wonder of nature, while, you know, doing a little vlog of the botanic gardens here in Singapore. So I will get to that soon. And I think I'm done, uninterrupted. Yes. Thank you so much for watching. I will probably stick a few random clips of Chinese New Year back home in China. And I don't know if there's been a clip or 2 here in Singapore yet, but yeah, and I'll be back soon. Bye. Look how windy. Oh, that looks like fun times. Okay, this is the New Year fruit market. Wow, so nice. And this is the flower market. Wow. Wow, that's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at all of the orchids. Whoa. Wow. What a view. Here is an aerial view of my community. I think this is my community. Maybe. Yeah. Here's the mountainside. Mountains. Beach. Oh. Hey, baby. Here's a view from Brent's gym. I might join it next year. So it's a little gym at the hotel. But you get pool membership too. That's the pool. And there's an indoor pool also. That's like a magpie kind of thing. You see his tail? And his little beak.